Hey guys! So this year I've decided to participate in NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month, and if you're watching this, it's probably already started. Now I'm not sure if this is a new tag created for this year or what, but recently I saw Marlon Alina do this tag and watched it, got really excited, and decided to film it for myself. I've done Camp NaNoWriMo twice and sort of participated in NaNoWriMo last year, but unfortunately I have yet to complete a story or win any NaNoWriMo that I've participated in. Although I really wanted to participate in NaNoWriMo last year, it was right in the middle of preparation for final exams, so what I did as kind of a compromise was create a really detailed outline rather than actually write my story. I first found out about NaNoWriMo years and years ago when I believe I was going into high school because one of my younger cousins participated as part of a writing class at school. I remember thinking it was a super cool concept and that I really wanted to participate myself, but unfortunately I didn't really have the time for a lot of personal writing, so I didn't end up participating until a couple of years ago. I don't think I had a title for my NaNoWriMo novel last year. I think I called it something like Untitled Ninja Fantasy or something, but a fun fact is that I'm actually working on kind of the same story this year, but I have re-outlined everything. I've actually done research this year, and I'm super excited about the new direction that I'm taking things in. This is probably going to be a terrible one-sentence summary, but here we go. I am writing a fantasy novel set in an alternate historical Japan, centering around two siblings who are orphaned and then adopted into a village where they eventually start to manifest these powers that mark them very clearly as outsiders. Probably the best writing advice I ever got was that it doesn't really matter what you're writing as long as you keep writing. So practice makes perfect. I've really tried to take that to heart, so every time I write a blog post or a review or a piece of fan fiction or an outline for another story, every time I'm writing one of these things, I try and make it the best piece of writing that I can so that when I go to write a longer, more complicated piece of work like a novel draft, it's easier and I've given myself as much training as possible. This is only my third year, I believe, participating in NaNoWriMo, whether that was a camp or the actual NaNoWriMo, but in that time frame, no, I have not taken a year off. I almost took this year off, but then decided that I had no excuses because I'm not in school for the first time ever and my work doesn't take up a whole lot of time, so if I wasn't going to do it this year, then I should just accept that I was never going to do it. I don't think I could narrow it down to a single biggest inspiration for deciding what to write about, and that's mainly because I kind of get inspired by a lot of different things, whether that's a show or a movie I'm watching, a book I'm reading, a song I'm listening to, or just being in the world and observing people and interactions around me. I think all of that's incredibly inspiring. Though I think the story I'm working on this year has kind of a cool background because this is actually based on an idea that I first had when I was 14 years old after I watched Princess Mononoke for the first time. I'm 24 this year, so that means I have been thinking about and revising and revamping this story for about 10 years now, which I realize sounds like major overkill and sounds like a really long time, but it's just a story that's really stuck with me over the years, and I can't wait to finally write it down as I see it now in my head. You guys will have to let me know if you do this as well, but I don't actually write my stories in a strict linear fashion. I generally start with kind of a broad plot outline of where I kind of want the novel or story to go, and then jump around and fill things in. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't have an actual first sentence of a story to share with you guys. However, I can share with you the first sentence that I actually wrote when I started filling in my outline from last year. Mother! Taku watched in horror as the warrior's long sword sank into his mother's back and reappeared, red and glinting, from her stomach. So it's definitely not a warm and cuddly kind of story, and that was actually cheating because that was two sentences and not one. I love writing for the same reason that I love reading, and that's the ability to experience things outside of my own existence. I haven't gotten to travel a whole lot, and I've lived kind of an average middle American existence, so when I get to read stories about other countries or write about crimes that I don't actually solve or write about fantasy worlds, it's like getting to explore without ever having to leave my house. But I also really love creating whole new worlds, and I could probably take another year just to world build and fine-tune details for this story. And that's where NaNoWriMo comes in, because it reminds us that without actually sitting down and putting pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, there is no actual written out story to share. So those were my answers to the NaNoWriMo tag, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are participating as well, please let me know, and I will put my NaNoWriMo link in the description box just in case you want to be writing buddies. I have my October favorites and wrap-up filmed, and I will schedule those to go up, but just a heads up, I will not be posting other videos in November because I'm really going to try and take NaNoWriMo seriously this year and focus and get shit done. I've been trying to get a full draft of something written for so long now, and I could normally blame it on school and whatever craziness I had going on, but this year my life is relatively tame. I don't have a ton going on, so I'm going to try and be really disciplined and just sit down and you know, not try to do it, but actually do it. I'm gonna be Nike for the month. Just do it. And on that note, I better go put the final touches on my outline. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye!